the matter.
It's funny because people say things like that, but, it's an open investigation. And I think people know when there's an open investigation, you just wait and see what's going to happen.
The ambassador's remarks come as tensions continue to escalate between the government and opposition over allegations contained in the United States court filing, which references a politician won and alleged discussions surrounding a potential cocaine operation. A major battleground has now become whether this issue should be openly debated inside the House of Assembly. After House Speaker Patricia DeVoe refused to allow the document to be tabled, opposition leader Michael Pintard took his concerns to Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles, calling for an official investigation.
We also send the same documents to the Attorney General and the Minister of National Security. We are not going to preempt what she does. We're going to hear what her comments are. We will watch what actions are taken by the police.
Pintard maintains that the Speaker's decision prevented Parliament from properly confronting questions that have now captured national attention.
She has a duty to protect the People's House and its reputation, and she's failing, being led by a Prime Minister who will act only in his interest.
The opposition leader is also taking issue with the language used by senior government officials in addressing this matter. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell has described the issue as a nothing burger, while DeVoe previously referred to it as frivolous gossip. Pintard argues that such characterizations risk undermining public confidence in the face of serious allegations.
I would hate to think maybe because they're complicit, because they are permitting these things to happen, or they know exactly that there are some persons in their midst who are involved. And so we believe it is a bit of both.
He says a government committed to transparency should take additional steps to ensure the matter is fully examined.
Immediately launch an investigation. Immediately look for the footage in all of downtown for that day to see who exactly, and any footage that's in the Parliament, to see who exactly was having these various meetings, to meet with every single member of the team.
Now, Janelle, Pintard is not only calling for investigators to determine the identity of politician one, but he also wants authorities to examine the nature of any relationship between government officials and convicted drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner, who is currently in United States custody. The opposition is further demanding answers regarding Top-Notch Builders, a company linked to Gardner that has become the subject of intense political scrutiny due to its past associations with government figures. For now, I'm Jose Etienne. Back to you, Janelle.
Thanks so much. Our Jose Etienne joining us live in studio tonight. Meantime, a Bahamian national has been sentenced to 27 years in a U.S. federal prison after being convicted of sexually exploiting a child under his care. According to court documents, 38-year-old Ryan Wayne Johnson was arrested in July of 2025 after police in Newport News, Virginia, responded to a report of suspected child sexual abuse and found him with an 11-year-old victim. Investigators determined that over a period spanning several weeks, Johnson reportedly exploited the child, for whom he served as a primary caregiver. Authorities further revealing that he recorded the abuse and stored those videos on his cell phone. The case was investigated by Homeland Security Investigations with assistance from the Newport News Police Department and prosecuted by federal authorities as part of a Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative aimed at combating the sexual exploitation and abuse of children. Well, a disturbing video tonight showing a teenage girl being violently attacked by male students has ignited widespread outrage and is now in the hands of police. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details in this report tonight.
A teenage girl kicked, punched, and stomped by a male student in a brutal after-school attack, all caught on camera. Tonight, police have launched a criminal investigation into the violent incident at the higher-level preparatory academy as disturbing questions emerge about youth violence and what led up to the confrontation. Eyewitness News visited the campus on Friday, where school officials insisted the incident does not reflect the culture of the institution.
We've never had this kind of disturbance before. Zero tolerance to any kind of bullying or violence on the campus.
The chilling video shows a male student spraying the female student with a water hose before another male student rushes in, throwing punches, dragging her to the ground, and appearing to stomp her as others look on. The fallout was swift. School officials say the student who sprayed the hose has been suspended while the alleged attacker has been expelled. But as public outrage grows online, administrators are revealing new details about the students at the center of the incident. According to school officials, the two male students and the female student involved were all recent transfers who had enrolled at the school after their education at another institution came to an end.
That group of students, they were actually taken from another school that is no longer in existence. And so they do not know the fullness of what the culture at this school looks like.
While officials acknowledge the assault should have never happened, they argue the viral video captures only a portion of the incident and maintain staff members moved quickly to de-escalate the situation and protect those involved. In the wake of the attack, school leaders say they are reviewing their policies, procedures, and supervision practices to help prevent a similar incident from happening again.
What we plan to do is have administrators around the premises more frequently, especially in those moments when students are outside of classrooms, because the incident actually took place after school hours.
And for parents now questioning whether their children are safe,
we encourage the parents, continue to bring your children. Don't feel any way afraid or hesitant in terms of bringing your children back to school, because the reality is this is not a part of our culture.
Police have confirmed the matter remains under active investigation. Meanwhile, the condition of the female student has not been disclosed. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, are school grooming requirements reasonable or antiquated? The public speaking out in light of a recent incident that saw the graduation of high school students jeopardized. Our Danielle Dean has the latest.
Outdated and too much rules. Too much rules. Slavery over a long time, man.
A debate over school grooming policies is once again in the national spotlight, with Bahamians divided over whether students should miss out on milestone moments for failing to meet apparent standards.
I just feel like that's a little bit unfair to the students. The haircut shouldn't discredit all the hard work they've done, to get to graduation. I'm a new grad vet, so I would kind of, feel a kind of way if I did all that hard work to graduate and then I got there and then they told me, sorry, too bad because of the way your hair looks or the way you're groomed. So I feel like that's really unfair to those students.
The discussion reignited following reports that graduation packages paid for by parents were withheld from some C.R. Walker Senior High School students because their haircuts did not comply with Ministry of Education guidelines. The incident has raised broader questions about whether long-standing school rules are still relevant in today's society, or whether some policies have become outdated. The issue is not new to C.R. Walker. In 2016, former student Tasia Delaveau drew international attention after she was allegedly told her natural hair was unkempt, sparking the Support the Puff movement. The story was picked up by international outlets including the BBC, Vogue, and 17 magazine. Today, many Bahamians are asking whether schools should have the power to enforce such policies at the expense of students participating in important events like graduation.
I kind of agree with the latter. I think, rules are rules, but they put in all that hard work to graduate. So maybe there should be an exception, this time around for that.
Others, however, say the issue is simple. Rules are rules, and students who are made aware of them should be expected to follow them.
If the adults were advised before graduation or a month before, that they should have complied with what the principal or the administration wanted the child to do. But if they just ignore what was given to them, they should suffer the consequences.
They were well aware in advance of what the rules were. They should have complied. And then thereafter, they can go ahead to whatever length that they like. If you protest it, that's for next year and perhaps the years after. But as it stands now, they should comply.
Meanwhile, some members of the public say the controversy reflects a failure by the education system to find a balance between discipline, fairness, and student expression.
The school has failed. The student didn't fail. You had them for 5 years, and you're going to wait until today to say that they are not groomed properly or meet the standards which was set by you. So obviously, the school has failed.
For now, the conversation continues, with many calling for a review of school grooming policies to ensure they reflect modern expectations while maintaining order in the classroom. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
From the crime beat tonight, a man is dead after being shot multiple times while sitting on a porch on McQuay Street off of Nassau Street on Thursday night. Police say it was shortly after 10 p.m. when Spot Shotter technology alerted officers to multiple gunshots in the area. Responding police found the unresponsive adult male suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital by EMS but died shortly after 11. Investigations reveal that he was sitting on a porch speaking with another man when a lone gunman wearing a blue hoodie and black mask approached and opened fire before running from that area. Investigators are now working to identify the man and arrest the gunman. The investigations are ongoing tonight. Well, the National Prescription Drug Plan is moving to reassure the public amid temporary supply challenges affecting a number of limited medications, saying that they're working with suppliers to restore full availability. Our Laurencia Smith is on the story tonight.
The National Prescription Drug Plan says only a limited number of medications are currently affected by temporary supply disruption and emphasized the issue is not widespread but remains short-term. To safeguard patients, the NPDP has activated emergency procurement measures. They say they're seeking additional supply sources and is coordinating with healthcare providers to identify appropriate alternative treatment where necessary. Officials added that they're working directly with suppliers and wholesalers to restock, with shipment expected in the coming days and normal activities anticipated by the end of the week. This comes following an Eyewitness News report on Wednesday in which a mother raised concern about the ongoing shortage of insulin for her son who has type 1 diabetes. Those medicines include Humalog and Lysantin. She says it's been difficult to obtain despite being covered under the plan. Now, while the NPDP did not specify all affected medications, Eyewitness News understand approximately 11 medications are currently out of stock, including some for major chronic conditions such as Humalog, Vicin, and Metformin. The plan also confirmed that a revised drug formula feature updating medications for chronic conditions will take effect August 1st. Meanwhile, patients are being urged not to discontinue prescription medication without first consulting a doctor or pharmacist. The plan says that restocking full inventory and ensuring continued access to essential medication remains its top priority. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, police are investigating a structural fire that broke out at the ZNS service station on Blue Hill Road South early Friday morning. Initial reports indicate that the fire started after a power outage when the facility's backup generator automatically activated. Police say the generator began emitting smoke and later caught fire, causing the blaze to spread throughout that structure. The fire was eventually brought under control and extinguished. At this time, police say arson is not suspected. Executive Chair of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, Picewell Forbes, estimates the damage to be around $1.2 million.
We are just completing the process of updating the sites. Our radials have been done here at South Beach. Our guide wires have been strengthened to protect our towers, and now this. So we have lost just over $1.2 million worth of equipment here. I've spoken with our engineers at the corporation, so we'll have to take about 2 to 3 months of a replacement. I came here, this is all bush, and we've taken the last 2 years to declare it down, redo the ground facilities here. The radials would have been redone, transmit up to 48 to 50,000 daily. Our listeners in the islands could hear 1540 in Hard Hill, Acklands, Delectable Bay, Salina Point, Matthew Town very clearly, and in the Turks and Caicos Island, Middle Caicos, Grand Turk, and Provo.
Forbes says recognizing the dire situation the fire leaves the BCB in, he says the work to repair will require some urgency.
The entire process should take a maximum of 2 to 3 months, they're telling us, because this is an exigent item, and we'll have our engineers and those who are in the technical arena at the corporation, also the Office of the Prime Minister, to work on the product for us. 1540, like I mentioned, connects the Bahamas, and I'm just so glad at this time, although saddened and challenged by it, that our Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister represent Family Island communities like I would have done for some 15 years. So they understand and empathize the pain that our people in the islands could be having.
On to some of the news tonight, not just power contracts and airport upgrades on the horizon for Grand Bahama, but its health sector is expected to get a long overdue boost. The Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, outlining the movement expected soon as he contributed to the budget debate in Parliament this week.
In a few weeks, Essential renovations will begin at the Rand Memorial Hospital accident emergency, and the morgue facility that went into some challenges because of the manufacture will finally be completed. We are also back on We are also back on track with the construction of phase 1 of the Freeport Health Campus, and this year we will complete the tender process for the multi-story tower on that 50-acre site.
Meantime, the Public Hospitals Authority, in a statement defending the use of plastic aprons for visitors in the intensive care unit, the issue raised yesterday by Central Grand Bahama Member of Parliament Frayette Gibson, who called the use of the plastic apron shameful. Now, in a statement, the PMH, they indicated that the aprons used are a different material from those used in the kitchen and are used in accordance with COVID-19 protocols. The statement furthered that the aprons are not a temporary replacement for personal protective equipment and are not being used because of a shortage. For more on this statement, you can log onto our social media pages or ewnews.com. Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning that QR code on your screen or visiting our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas @gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comment section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, an island previously ravaged by a hurricane, they're seeing some positive redevelopment. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, airport officials say they're ready for a summer rush. We've got more on that right after this break.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and everybody watching from Nassau. Tonight, we welcome a star. So please join me in welcoming the barbecue rap star, star of the show!
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Hey, psst, it's me, Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper, Saturday, June 20th at Atlantis, Bahamas. Cyndi Lauper. Tickets on sale now at atlantislive.com. And it's gonna be a party, a big celebration. Don't miss Cyndi Lauper live.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Rubis, $6.65. Shell coming in at $6.85. Esso, $7.07. Your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, it's been some 7 years since deadly Hurricane Dorian ripped through the island of Abaco, and now parliamentarians are touting the significant rise in projects and redevelopment heading to the island. Central and South Abaco MP Bradley Fox Jr., who's also the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, outlining billions of dollars worth of investment during his contribution to this year's budget.
From 2021 to date, Abaco has attracted 24 approved foreign direct investment projects totaling $2.6 billion in committed capital. In the same period, 612 international personal landholding transactions have been recorded on Abaco, worth $978 million. Combined, FDI and landholding together, committed capital flowing into Abaco stands at approximately $3.65 billion, $3,650 million.
Government is also allocating a significant amount of funds to Family Island development in the upcoming budget, which Fox says is more than needed to support what's coming for the island.
Private capital does not operate in a vacuum. The $655 million Abaco Club expansion at Winding Bay requires reliable maritime access. The $250 million Schooner Bay development requires roads that function. The 768 projected jobs from the 2026 NEC approvals alone requires workers who can get to work, who have healthcare facilities when they are ill, and who will live in communities with the basic infrastructure that makes life sustainable. When this budget allocates $2.8 million to the crossing dock in Marsh Harbor, when this government commits to the completion of the Moores Island public dock, it is not merely maintaining maritime assets. It is protecting the logistical infrastructure upon which $3.65 billion in private investment depends.
The country continues to record significant numbers of visitors. CEO of the Nassau Airport Development Company, Vernice Walking, says the Lynden Pinling International Airport is bracing itself for a summer rush, what could be likely given last month's uptick in arrivals. It comes as aviation executives ready themselves for the busiest period for the airport, which promises to reinforce the tourism sector's upward momentum. This as officials were elated that last month was the second busiest that many have seen by the airport following 10 months of negative performance from the United States markets.
Typically, we are finding in the months of July, and particularly in the first half of August, those are busiest periods for obvious reasons. People are traveling with the kids, and we tend to be very, very, very busy. So we meet with all of our stakeholder partners to make sure that everybody's fully staffed. We look for ways to move people through, both on the departure and the arrival side, to move them through those processes a lot quicker. And so an important part of that obviously is staffing and making sure that all of the equipment that processes people and their bags, that those equipment and systems are working. And so we've done this before, and we know how to do it. Last summer was actually one of our best summers in terms of efficiency. And we look to implement the very same measures we had last time to make sure that we can move people through the airport on arrival and departure very efficiently.
Well, as passenger traffic continues to grow, LPIA is planning major upgrades to prepare for future demand, including terminal expansion, infrastructure improvements, and a new airport hotel. Eyewitness News turning to social media posing the question, what do you think is the biggest benefit of expanding LPIA? 21% of participants voted boosting tourism and the economy. 57% voted for creating jobs and business opportunities, while some 15% voted improving the travel experience for residents and visitors. 7% voted strengthening the Bahamas' position as a regional travel hub. Well, Bahamas reporting strong positive numbers as the resort heads into the summer months. Senior Executive Vice President Robert Sandy Sands says the resort is seeing encouraging growth driven by sustained tourism demand.
Both ahead of last year, and so we are very much encouraged by having a very strong year pending any unforeseen occurrences that may happen. I think our president articulated this in a number of interviews. There are a number of things that are happening in the marketplace. We've seen significant growth from Canada, we've seen, and other parts of the world. The Bahamas has been able to capture a significant amount of incremental business. Now, while this business for Nassau New Providence is very strong and ahead of pace.
Heading into the second half of this year, Sands highlighting some of the events set to be hosted at the resort.
We have the Culinary Association coming up. We have a number, like I said, the Resort Foundation, a number of our sporting events that are coming up. Bahama Hoops coming up later on in the year. And then towards the end of the year, then we get into festive season. So we have a large range of events that are happening from now until the end of the year.
Meantime, hundreds getting the opportunity to come face-to-face with potential employers today at the Fort Charlotte Career Fair. 30 businesses from across a wide range of industries, including fintech to car sales, were present, giving job seekers the opportunity to explore different career paths and, in some cases, apply right on the spot. Fort Charlotte MP Sebastian says he's proud of what his team was able to accomplish, adding that each company committed to hiring a number of those at the fair today.
We've curated a very, very comprehensive group of corporate Bahamas together from all different industries. As you can see, there's over 30 plus companies represented here and at our job fair. And they've also all committed to hiring at least 3 persons per company. So this is not just a passive application grabbing process. I think 100 plus people will walk out here with employment after today. And we're very excited about being able to put on such an event.
Present were representatives from media, aviation, law enforcement, retail, utilities, hospitality, and more. They braved the scorching sun today to speak with potential employees. Bastian believes today's event was symbolic of his commitment to develop at the community level and the government's commitment on a national one.
We were able to really leverage our relationships together. We have the police force out here, we got Domino's out here, we got McDonald's out here, we got Edenville out here, we've got another clinic over there. I mean, it's so diverse. So no matter what profession that you're interested in, there's an opportunity out here for you. And I think we'll have to continue to do more of this. Thankful for the Ministry of Labor as well. Their team is out here helping and gathering more data to put back in our central repository so that we can strategically, decide on how we do more of these going forward. Labor has one of these planned in another week, so we're excited about that as well.
Meantime, a proposed change to the country's employment laws could signal a major shift in how workplace well-being is viewed. During the opening of Parliament last month, the Governor General announced that the government will explore implementing mental health leave for employees as a part of the Employment Act 2026, which is expected to be passed later this year. Human Resource Associate Tori Gomez says the proposal is a positive step that could help create a more supportive and healthier workplace culture.
Especially when you have employees that are constantly coming to you and they're expressing their needs or concerns, and instead of always just either probably calling out sick and creating a little bit of a stain on their files, maybe implementing those mental health days and maybe actually helping me improve performance. Increased and improved performance drives a company, okay? Because you want your customers to see how motivated your employees are so that they can deliver what's needed.
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, a female executive inspires students who will soon matriculate to high school. We've got that story coming up, but first, a chat on tonight's weather forecast.
Andres here, I come in my 2027. Oh, God is so good. Island Lock, I thank you, I tell you. I'm gonna pray over this and I'm gonna drive this all around town and show off and show them what Island Lock does for customers like me. I caught the keys with Island Lock and thank you, Jesus. I caught the keys.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more.
Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, graduation season continues. It was a proud and emotional milestone for the D.W. Davis Junior High class of 2026 as nearly 190 students graduated in a ceremony highlighted by inspiring words from a special keynote guest. Our Laurencia Smith has that report.
With heads held high and smiles of accomplishment, the D.W. Davis Junior High School class of 2026 proudly marched into their graduation ceremony as loved ones cheered them on. The occasion marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another as graduates gathered to celebrate 3 years of hard work, growth, and achievements. Nearly 190 students crossed the stage to receive their diplomas, marking a major milestone in their academic journey. But before embracing the next chapter, which is high school, the graduates received words of encouragement. Delivering the keynote address was Adriana Fox, Chief Operation Officer, shareholder of Island Luck and Ultra Games, Vice President of the Fox Group of Companies, and co-founder of the Fox Foundation. Ms. Fox encouraged the students to embrace their theme, Forge in the Fire, Crowned in Excellence.
They know who you'll become. Sometimes you think you know who you'll become. And then life says, actually, I've got another plan for you. Because if you had told the Adriana Fox sitting in school back then that one day I would become a business executive, a co-founder, a vice president, he would look at you and said, you sure you get the right person? But one thing I know for sure is this. Everything I became, I had to be forged through the fire to become it.
As graduates celebrate their accomplishments, Ms. Fox challenged them to move forward with resilience, discipline, and curiosity, qualities she says will guide them towards continued success. Reflecting on her own journey from a cashier to a successful businesswoman, philanthropist, she encouraged graduates to believe in their potential and never stop striving for excellence.
Feel underestimated. Rooms where people question you. Rooms where you are the only one who looks just like you. But never confuse being underestimated with being incapable. Walk into every room knowing you belong there. Because excellence has no limit. And your background does not determine your future.
The school's principal, Latoya Burrows, also praising the graduates for their resilience, dedication, and commitment to excellence throughout their junior high school careers.
Today, we gather not just to celebrate an achievement, but to honor a journey marked by challenges, resilience, and triumph, a journey we took together. Life does not hand us crowns of excellence without first testing our strength of spirit. We are not shaped in comfort, but in challenge.
For the D.W. Davis Junior High School class of 2026, graduation was more than a ceremony. It was a celebration of achievements and a hopeful success towards the future. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, Laurencia has your latest check on sports right after this break.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off in sports tonight, the NCAA Division I Outdoor Track and Field Championships over in Eugene, Oregon is underway as several Bahamian athletes are in action at one of the biggest stages in the collegiate track and field calendar. For the first time ever, the Bahamas was represented by 4 athletes in the women's 400 meters semifinals. The University of Tennessee senior Javonia Volcott, University of Florida junior Quincy Penn, Texas A&M senior Lakathia Cooper, and Texas Tech senior Colonique Farrington. Volcott was the only one to advance to finish second in her heat and qualified 6th overall in a time of 50.75 seconds. She now moves on to the finals on Saturday. In the women's 4x100 meter relay, Bahamian Tornell Miller and the University of Central Arkansas placed 7th in the heat and 19th overall with a time of 44.44 seconds, missing the qualifying mark for the finals. Looking ahead, the University of Arizona freshman Anton Smith will compete in the men's triple jump, while the University of Miami junior Clea Jackson will contest the women's discus final on Saturday. Well, definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports for all of the highlights from the championships. On to news from the Minister of Sports desk, Mario Boleg, who says that government is stepping up to support sailing as a part of the 2026-2027 budget debate in the House of Assembly. Boleg announced that sailing, recognized as the national sport, will receive an additional $500,000 in funding aimed to strengthen development of the program across the country. He says the allocation will go forward to expand training opportunity, boosting youth participating, supporting the overall growth of the sport nationwide.
As part of this effort, I intend to introduce a new governance structure, beginning with the establishment of a National Sailing Federation and a National Sailing Commission, which will be rolled out in phases through proper consultation. These bodies will assist in the overall growth, governance, and development of sailing throughout the Bahamas by strengthening administration of the sport, improving coordination among stakeholders, and creating a framework for long-term sustainability. The National Sailing Federation will provide a clear pathway for Bahamian sailors to once again compete at the highest level of international competition, including Olympic qualification, World Championships, and other major international events.
This year's summer sports program will also include sailing classes, sail making courses, boat building, instruction for young people from New Providence, Grand Bahama, Cat Island, Exuma, and Eleuthera. Meanwhile, the National Junior Sailing Program has added 2 new schools, S.E. McPherson Junior High School and Doris Johnson Senior High School, bringing a total of 16 participants across the country. Well, that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, our graduation feature series continuing tonight. We're celebrating Jaden Newbold going on to junior high school from the Cleveland Aeneas Primary School. Jaden graduated in the top 10 list of outstanding students. Special congratulations from your mom, dad, and extended family. We also send congratulations to two college-bound students, Samia Munnings and Deja Taylor. They graduated from Queens College today. Best of luck. We got scores of graduates coming in. We'll be sure to display them next week, but congratulations to all of the graduates this week. That wraps up news this Friday. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at all of this week's hot topics. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night, be safe, and have a great weekend, everyone.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
Well, I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them. Pages, you know, you used to do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
What are we walking back? That Bimini is no longer an island?
That's
okay,
not
because
what he was trying
because
to
he also.
say. Well, I don't even know what Red Basket is anymore either. What do y'all people say?
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
It is Week in Review Fridays. Tonight, a look at the week that was in the House of Assembly. What are many of you saying about the ongoing row of politician number one? Meanwhile, politician number one identified herself in Parliament this week, and later the youth panel on their impression of the 2026-2027 budget, especially as it relates to youth and sports. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. Good to have you along this evening. The 2026-2027 budget debate is in session, started in earnest on Monday, but there hasn't been one dull moment so far this week. An explosive U.S. court affidavit and allegations of political corruption is at the center and was at the center of a heated clash on the floor of Parliament as the Free National Movement made an attempt to table a document. We get the story from Linton Ritchie Jr. and come back with more.
Madam Speaker, again, honourable members, Madam Speaker.
A dramatic showdown erupting in the House of Assembly as opposition leader Michael Pintard attempted to table a U.S. federal court affidavit containing allegations of links between a Bahamian politician and an international drug trafficking network. But before the document could be formally entered into the parliamentary record, House Speaker Patricia DeVoe shut the effort down. The Speaker ruling that the proper procedures had not been followed.
If you want to present something, present it to me, present it to via my clerk, and it will be presented to the legal team, and they will advise the Speaker.
The 12-page affidavit filed in the U.S. Southern District of New York courts has sparked significant public interest since its release last month. The document forms part of the case against convicted Bahamian drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner, and details surrounding an undercover investigation into an alleged international cocaine smuggling operation. It includes claims that a Bahamian politician identified only as, quote, politician one met with Gardner inside Parliament and allegedly received cash payments. Pintard argued that the affidavit should be tabled given the serious nature of the allegations and their potential implications for the country's democratic institutions. He also pointed to a 2020 instance when a writ of summons containing allegations against then Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest was tabled in the House.
Here lay multiple documents in this House that the Speaker did not have any prior cider. Did not have any cider. And it is a document that has been in public circulation.
But DeVoe maintained that the issue was not the content of the document, but whether established parliamentary procedures had been followed.
If the reputation of the House of Assembly is at risk of being damaged. No, hold on. Let me speak to that. Then, Madam Speaker, reputation of the House of Assembly is not at risk.
Despite the setback, Pintard says he's now formally submitted the affidavit to the clerk of the House for consideration through the appropriate channels. The document's failed tabling comes as questions continue to swirl over the identity of politician number one and whether any Bahamian officials will be drawn into the expanding U.S. investigation. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, before I bring in the Hot Topics panel, I want to get to what many of you are saying about that very matter right now. And it's been dragging on really now since before election and really in earnest since after the election. It continues to trend among in the House, among politicians. Protests have happened. And so here's the question we asked. Questions have been raised about whether allegations discussed in Parliament should be publicly debated before being fully reviewed by the Privileges Committee. While some believe transparency is essential, others argue that established parliamentary procedures should be followed to run their course first. Well, Eyewitness News team turned to social media and we posed this question. Should allegations be debated in Parliament before an investigation is completed? Here's how you all voted. 31% of the participants voted yes. The public has a right to hear all the information immediately. 55% of you voted no. Investigations should be completed before a public debate. 13% of you voted only if there is credible evidence supporting the claims. Meanwhile, 1% said that you're not sure and you need more information. Well, we're going to bring in the Hot Topics panel right now. Good evening to you, Cassia Stewart, Ellington Ferguson. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
This matter has been going back and forth. It's become the political football in the middle of this 2026-2027 debate, budget debate. But your thoughts, you heard me even refer to what much of the public is saying and how they are feeling and thinking about it. Your thoughts about this back and forth and this sort of political football, this back and forth now about politician number one, about what took place on May 12th, and who was involved, who was not involved?
Ellington? Shanique, this is a very interesting situation that is unfolding on our parliamentary, in our House of Assembly, I should say. I think rather than, because as far as I'm aware, the U.S., to my knowledge, did not supply the Bahamas government with certain information other than they said, and the information on the court dockets is redacted of some names, but they say a well-known politician name has been named within this. I think going on certain speculations in a number of persons, as I think back, that was arrested, including a former police inspector that was arrested sometime last year in the U.S. Again, they talk about a prominent politician. I am concerned about this term that the U.S. normally uses about a prominent politician. If there's a prominent politician that is involved in something,
why not call them out
like
immediately? Yeah?
You send out indictment for other persons and other citizens of the Bahamas, rather than kind of throwing this speculation over and shadow over the government of the Bahamas, why not just name the politicians, let the chips fall where they may? I mean, what is the U.S. using this for? I mean, the U.S. normally do not cooperate with corrupt governments and corrupt countries, okay? The U.S. is wanting to get us to make a decision with this hospital to pull back from Chinese funding, and the U.S. is now saying, after we've been trying all along, wanted to give us money. Is these things a stick over our government head to kind of keep us in line? Because, I mean, just name the politician.
So you feel, feel as though, listen, put up or do the next best thing. Because if you had this trump card, then you certainly would have thrown it out there to say, listen, this is what your government is doing, or some of your government officials
or persons within your administration. Right. See, because for me, what I'm saying, it's causing the exact desired effect of destabilizing and causing major ruckus in our parliament, in our House of Assembly, when we should be moving on with the discussion of our budget. And I don't think, like many of the people in your survey said, that there should be any debate over some allegations that may lead to nowhere in our parliament. If we investigate and find substantive stuff, let's put it on the table, let's talk about it, and let the chips fall where they may.
You know, Shanique, if I was the Prime Minister, I'd be very, very, very concerned, because from the start of the government, from election day, we had a big problem. When the plane went down, and now they found this guy who, Eric Gardner, has been indicted, been arrested, and so on, and has been a part of a drug ring. Now, my problem is, right, why would the former Prime Minister under the last administration give this guy a $50 million contract if you know his background? And then why would you, as a politician, want to go work with somebody you know has been indicted, been arrested for drugs? And then why are you still fooling around with this guy? I mean, for me, as a politician, you got to be above reproach. If you want to walk the road of leadership and in a country, you got to be above reproach. Certain people I don't hang out with. Certain people, Shanique, you don't hang out with, because you know their background. And so when you lay with dogs, you can get fleas.
So you're saying, Cassius, that, listen, this man's reputation preceded him.
Damn right.
And from the, in which I understand he's been involved with government contracts and work since the Christie administration throughout to right now, or perhaps a few years ago. So what are you saying, that they should have pushed back on him? Because I understand, remember now, Halkitis also came up in a legitimate business that this man has an affiliation with, owned, whatever it is. But you were saying what?
Shanique, you know, the thing about it is that we know, I mean, we've been fluffing over this issue for long, and of course, because the government is new and you want to make sure they get off a start, but we got to call a spade, right? I don't know why the former prime minister would have given this man a contract almost with $50 million. I don't know why you would make a decision like that, knowing that this man was arrested in the U.S., extradited back to the
Which former
Bahamas.
prime minister, by the way?
Christie, under the Christie administration. That's what is alleged.
That's
under
when the
Yes.
relationship started,
Yes.
you're saying?
Yes. Why would you do that? And then why would, I love Michael Lakitis. If you know this man's reputation, why are you going to work for him? I don't understand that. For me, I don't hang out with certain people if I know their background. I don't care how much money you get. These people, Michael is a smart man. He could run the country. But why you want to go work with somebody you know you get this kind of reputation and you know it can come back to you? And so all of the things that is hitting them now, they deserve it. Because you lay with dogs and you can get fleas. And so for me, I would be very concerned if I'm the prime minister because your administration start off on a bad leg. And it's only going to get worse because now you got to tighten up, prime minister. You got to put those fellas in order. And all these shaky and shady people you got in your cabinet, you got to deal with them because everything coming down.
So you call some members of his cabinet shady and shaky?
If you hanging out with dogs, right? My mommy always tell me, you can get flea. If you hanging out with people you know the U.S. was after, you know the United States is after these people, why are you still, if you won't be in leadership? See, leadership is a sacred responsibility. And for me, we keep electing these people who don't understand that sacred responsibility. How you expect for the children to want to abide by the law when you're hanging with people you know breaking the law? That don't make no sense to me.
Ellington, your thoughts on where Cassie is sort of pushed this discussion?
I have not known, and I hear Cassius, and I agree if you know that people are shady, that you should kind of distance yourself from him, especially, not only in public life, in any aspect of life. But I don't know that there was public knowledge that this guy was wanted by the U.S.
You may not know it. But he was arrested before, Alex.
He served time.
And he was extradited again. He was extradited from the United States to the Bahamas. They knew that. See, among the circles, you may not know, but they know what's going on.
My first time hearing about this guy is just in the recent weeks, as when the plane went down. I heard his name surface a couple months before that. I heard his name surface in some voice notes, but never knew all of the details about whether I learned now that he served time. I never knew until you said just now that he was indicted. I knew he served time in the U.S., but I didn't know that we had indicted him.
See, once you become the leader of a country, and leader I mean member of parliament, cabinet minister, prime minister, even taking a picture with people who are suspect is a problem sometimes.
Absolutely. Oh, you absolutely.
And so you got to be very, very careful of who you hang out with. Because what happens is that your association makes you guilty even if you ain't doing nothing.
Has this become a major distraction and thorn? And as you said, Ellington, it may be an intentional one, but one that this administration really seems not to be able to do anything about right now until that investigation proceeds in the United States and perhaps the goes to court. But just how much of a distraction is it?
It is a major distraction, and they cannot shake it off. The opposition is holding them feet to the fire with it. They're not allowing them to shake it off. And the House of Assembly, the budget debate, almost seemingly like it's going nowhere. It's almost a daily thing, and it's a major distraction.
We have to guard our democracy, and we got to guard the integrity, not of Parliament, but we got to guard the integrity of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So when they look at us, they don't look at one of us, they look at all of us. And so we got to make sure that those who are in Parliament live above reproach. And so now I see the speaker trying to deflect and say, oh, we don't want, if there's a document that's coming from a court in the United States, right? I might want to submit that to Parliament. Don't give me no red herring and all this as if you ain't want to try to get this out. Listen, we got to get to the bottom of the problem. All of y'all in Parliament. Because you are the leaders of our country. You are the gatekeepers. You are the fathers and the mothers. How do you expect for the next generation to respect you when this whole thing going on? We should never be back here. The problem with this government is that they lack depth and they lack wisdom. Because after 50-something years of an independent nation, we still dealing with behavioral issues and poor choice of who we associate in management. We should not be here now.
Okay, Cassius, we don't know who has behavioral issues or who is not have acted with the greatest measure of wisdom. Because nobody, wait a minute, because nobody's name has been called. We can have innuendos. In fact, as Islington mentioned, and I'm happy that you brought it up, last year, the year before, during these senior police officers' arrests, then it was said a politician is involved. It's been at least a year and a half, and we don't know who this politician is. So this could go on and on for the longest while, and it turns out it's none. So until it is revealed, Cassius, you cannot make statements like that.
But let me build my argument. When I mean behavioral issues, is that after 50 years, we are still talking about politicians who are associated and being associated.
That's worldwide.
We ain't talking about the US, we're talking about the Bahamas.
We're talking about everywhere. People will be associated with people. Wait a minute, Cassius. People with any industry, I don't care if it's legit one or those in the black market area or a little shady gray area, will want access to power. They will always be friends, family. They will always be, perhaps, who knows, even investors. What I'm saying is that part right there, I don't think any government can shake because it's worldwide. How can you shake and avoid somebody who may be in an alternative industry or work?
You made a decision. If somebody comes to me or you, and I know your background, right? If I know you are a criminal and you want to do business with me or you want me to do business with you, I know you're a criminal. I can't do that. I make a decision to be a partner with you. I made that decision. Now, my decision comes with consequences, and every decision comes with consequences, and they're dealing with the consequence right now, because when you make those decisions to associate with people who are suspect, you can get it. I'm telling you.
I am prepared to wait until we hear who knew who knew the involvement of certain people in certain nefarious activities. When the investigation revealed that, then I can speak more pointedly and says you should not have done this.
Well, the majority of the Bahamian public also feels that way.
I just think, Shanique, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here.
No, of course not. We shouldn't be here. Cassius, we should not.
We should not be here.
No, we shouldn't.
We shouldn't be here.
No, we shouldn't. But again, here's the risk, and here's what's dangerous about making just blanket statements like that. Remember now, East Grand Bahamas said he's related as well, through his wife, to the person who is in U.S. custody. So what I'm saying is, so we can't make assumptions and judgments on the fact that his wife is related.
Listen,
what I'm saying is we should wait and see exactly what is revealed with the investigation, whatever the U.S. chooses to make public.
If you want to do business with any banks or any corporation, they have something called KYC, MLO. They run your name through this international database through FBI checks. If you want government contract, they probably do the same thing after that level. They knew what was going on. So don't tell me nothing, because I just got a letter today from the bank saying, well, MLC and KYC and ABC for me, right? And so they know what was going on with these people. All I'm saying is, as government leaders, you cannot keep making dumb mistakes.
Point taken. When we come back, the Free National Movement leader, Michael Pintard, says he's not going anywhere. He will remain leader of the Free National Movement. We'll talk about that right after the break.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. Well, just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
My name is Charles Wesley Gould. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu.
We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
Well, as you can see in our first segment, it's been quite the active week, and it continues. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is pushing back against growing calls for him to step aside. The party's defeat, of course, happened just about 3 weeks ago during the 2026 general election. Now, Pintard is dismissing criticism from individuals. He says that they do not have any relevance in the party's decision-making process, while maintaining that F&M officials have already made their choice on the way forward. Despite questions about his leadership after the election loss, Pintard says he remains committed to leading the F&M and is prepared to continue the work of rebuilding the organization.
Relevant people are the council members of the party, and they've made a determination, not because I petitioned them or asked them. I placed myself in their hands. I was certainly prepared to do whatever they determine. I'm a team player, and they made a determination that they wish for me to stay on, notwithstanding the fact that they were presented with options.
Well, Cassius and Ellington, you all have seen a number of, whether it's on social media, whether it's talk around a water cooler, or people saying, you know what, Pintard, we think it's time for the F&M to have a change in leadership and perhaps create and establish a new direction, new energy, new vision, all the rest of it. But there you hear the opposition leader says he has nowhere to go. All who have a voice and can make a decision within the party have decided they're going to stay the course with him. Thoughts?
Well, Shanique, I support the decision of the Free National Movement Council members. When you look at all of the dynamics that's involved, they have 8 members in Parliament, 3 of them, Michael Pintard, the Honourable Michael Pintard, the Honourable Adrian White, and the third one Crazy Thompson. That's the Honourable Crazy Thompson. All of the others are new persons, and so rather than just the leader stepping aside immediately, I think it needs to give the party kind of time to watch the persons that they have in the House, so they can make a better determination. Probably like a year later, like they alluded that they'll have a convention next year in October sometime, which I think is early in the game and it's a good time. So it gives them an opportunity to make a better decision. See, because you're not sure, you just, for the leader now to step aside, you just throw somebody in there, you're not sure exactly what you're going to get. So I think they want to watch the performance of those persons, and you don't necessarily want to have a leader in the House as opposition leader and a leader of the party on the outside as 2 different persons. So I think it's a wise decision to kind of calm down while they assess everything that has transpired in this last general election and prepare themselves for a convention next year sometime.
Yeah. There is great wisdom in what Ellington is saying. I think the party needs to, I guess weigh in the balance all of the individuals they have. I think, but for Michael Pintat, I think the ship has sailed for him, and I think they have some young, dynamic people in their party, like Lincoln Deal. I know the party thinks that he's a newcomer, and the party thinks that he can't do it. But it reminds me of Samuel, when Samuel went to anoint the king, and all the older brothers was in the house waiting for anointment, and then they said, no, ain't none of them. Where the young one is, the fellow who ain't nobody think. And so sometimes you think that the people who you don't believe can lead, they may be the best leaders. And that word goes to all of the F&M council members and all your people who think that, oh, these people ain't got no experience, ain't got no this, that. Lincoln Deal may be your best bet.
So you're saying Cassius now, Lincoln Deal, and he's been around, he's not a newcomer to politics, he's been around politics for quite a number of years. However, still a first timer in where he's at now as an elected official. But you're saying, Cassius, sometimes it may take a David?
Yeah, take a David, and they become the best kings. I mean, I remember sitting with Sir Lyndon for the first time, and he said to me, Cassius, you know what? When I was elected to Parliament, I was young. I didn't have no money to even get to Parliament. He said my daddy had to give me taxi money to get to Parliament. But he said something strange to me. He said, and when we won, none of us knew how to be government. We didn't know what to do. Because we were in opposition, but now we're in the government. We didn't know what to do. We were all young. But look what they were able to do. And so sometimes you may close your eyes because somebody did not occupy a space before. But they take a fresh perspective on it because they're not contaminated by all of the history. You see, you give them a fresh perspective to lead, and now what you do is you just go up. If you deal with people who have the contamination of history, they worry about this and worry about that and trying to follow this protocol and that protocol. We want all that. We want to build. And so I think for the Free National Movement, for Michael Pintat, I can say it again, that ship has sailed. But I think your bet may be on a young Lincoln Deal because he brings
well,
a
there is
fresh
Andre Rollins
perspective.
now. Let's not overlook the entire bench. Andre Rollins has been, there's a lot of talk.
Well, he could throw his name in the hat.
He's trending on social media where people feel as though he may be sort of eclipsing and the shine of everybody else, including the leader.
A lot of people think that Andre got a hot ad, but Andre got to be Andre. Andre is Andre. And so I'm not sure what hot ad means. I mean, him and Loretta had an issue in the House of Assembly, and he had an issue with Perry Christie and so on. I mean, and he said he repented. So he may bring a different perspective, but Andre's been there as well too. But think about it. Sometimes in order to really take an organization from where it is to grow exponentially, you need a zero approach. You need somebody who is not bogged down by the history of all of the garbage that the party has. Somebody that can really take the party moving forward. And I know about all of this, and he don't know all of the ins and outs. That's what you need. You need a David who don't understand. All I know is there's a big man out there saying, "Christ my God," and I don't care how much weapons you get, I can take you down. That's what you need.
The F&M is a very strong organization. In spite of all of the infighting and all of the defeat that we have seen them experience over the last couple of months, last couple of years. But I think the Free National Movement needs a time of rebuilding. It has a strong, vibrant structure, but it needs a time of rebuilding, reorganizing itself to prepare itself to, first of all, be a formidable opposition during these next 5 years, and to position itself, unify itself, someone that's going to be a unifier that can pull people together, someone with charisma that when we reach into the next general election, this person can be able to put up a real force against the Progressive Liberal
What is
Party.
so scary though, I mean, you use some key words about being a formidable force. I think both political parties in the Bahamas is experiencing deterioration when it comes to that formidable
absolutely.
force. And when you see that the apathy voters, the ones who don't support either political party is greater than those who support, that is quite scary. But we've seen that in Jamaica, we've seen that in Barbados, we're seeing the same trend in the Bahamas. What is going on in the Caribbean? Where
also a few other Caribbean countries
yeah,
as well.
that these people, like the people that say, I ain't interested in none of y'all. I mean, we've been governed by two-party systems throughout the Caribbean for the last 50 years.
Well, the U.S. as well.
And the U.S.
It's a Western system. It's a Western Hemisphere type style of...
that system, while it may be more entrenched in the United States because it goes all down to the mayor and the governors and the judges and so on, it doesn't have that same effect in the Bahamas. But why is it that there's a growing number of young people or older people who don't care about the PLP or the F&M? That's a very interesting question for us to answer.
Well, here's what's interesting. A family vacation to the Bahamas took a costly turn after 6 Colorado cruise ship passengers were ordered to pay thousands of dollars in fines and compensation to police officers following a brawl at the Nassau cruise port. That left one officer with a dislocated shoulder. Look at your screen, y'all. Y'all see the video. This has gone viral. Videos of the reported incident went viral this week. The group who arrived in Nassau aboard the Disney Fantasy on June 7th appeared before Senior Magistrate Cara Turnquest on yesterday to answer a series of charges arising from the incident. Now, many Bahamians, of course, you saw some comments, they're vexed. You know why? Because they say, would Bahamians have been so lucky to walk away with just paying some fines and compensation fees? But let's continue. Here's what happened. 3 police officers were listed as virtual complainants in the matter, including one officer who suffered a dislocated shoulder after the attack. The defendants, Danielle Durbin, Gabrielle Aguilar, Jail Duran, Irvin Aguilar, Andrew Tapia, and Jose Duran, face various charges, including assaulting police officers, causing harm, damage to property. Remember, they broke the door there, which involved a glass door of the police station, disorderly behavior, resisting arrest, and using obscene language. Danielle Duran, a Denver-based nurse, received one of the stiffest penalties, being fined $16,600 in order to pay $25,000 in compensation to the injured police officer, or face 1 year at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. Jaylyn Duran and Gabrielle Aguilar were each fined $11,600 in order to pay a compensation or serve 6 months in prison. Irvin Aguilar was fined $28,000 in order to pay $25,000 in compensation or face 3 months at B-Docks. Court officials indicated that Jose Duran, identified as the owner of a Colorado trucking company, and Andrew Tapia have already paid their fines. Guys, this made people vex online. It made them vex because these people came here and they were torn up to the extreme, slapping up police officers, causing dislocated shoulders, other injury, breaking state property, and they paid, and then they now perhaps are back in Colorado.
You know, like we say, the Bahamas in a real place. I know where that statement came from, but you know, it's a slap in the face to all of us who want to obey the law. You get these people because they're white and they're Americans. They get a slap on the wrist. But you do that in their country and you go to jail. Put them in jail.
If you're lucky, Cassius.
If you're lucky. Listen, first of all, they should have been ordered to be getting 25 more lashes with a cat-9 tail. Cut their hip till they never come back to we don't want you to come back to the Bahamas. We don't care if you don't come back. And tell the rest of them who want to come to the Bahamas and do fool, we can cut their hip too if they do foolish like that. Set an example. You won't get them a little 25. They get money, they can pay it off. They break up the police station, fight the police officers, like there's no law in the Bahamas. You don't do that in my country. You set an example. Send them 5 years in jail and fine them. And then when they leave in, you get them 25 lashes, the cat-9 tail, cut their hip and tell them don't come back. That's what I would do. But we get jokey leaders in this country.
Whatever the law subscribes,
jokey leaders.
Whatever any ordinary Bahamian would have received in the same circumstances, I think should have been done. Have that been done? I'm not 100% sure that I can say it has or has not been done. So I'm for whatever the law prescribes.
I wanted to end with something nice and light because we needed that after that, what we saw just now, right? I wanted to end with something Senator Latrey Raming is doing. He's been creating this TikTok movement of sort of being the voice of women. But he's backed that up this week with something quite incredible. Yes, really awesome to empower so many Bahamians. We will talk about that next week. I'm not going to let it go because I think it's quite noble of what he's doing. And he's turned a light sort of TikTok moment into something that's meaningful. We'll talk about that next week, but I thank you very much, Hot Topics panelists. Cassia Stewart, Ellington Ferguson, thank you very, very much. Listen, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, you all thought that was something? Let's hear what the youth panel has to say about youth and sports and the way forward 2026, 2027 as the budget dictates for youth and sports and youth. We're back after this.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Well, the budget is all the talk this week. Many ministers of the government have been making their contribution to the budget. Among them, the Minister of Youth Sports, Mario Boleg. Of course, his comments capturing mainly the youth attention, or the attention of the youth demographic. And they're quite interested, in fact, because Minister Boleg mentioned a number of key areas, particularly where Family Island youth are concerned, sailing, for example, and making that more of a part of the curriculum, and so many other areas that young people say got their attention. We're going to speak with the members of the youth panel right now in this segment. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Tafari Gibson and Aaron Jones. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. It's good to have you both here, and hope you both are doing well.
Yes, good evening,
Bahamas. Thank you for having us. Good evening, Bahamas.
We heard Minister Boleg speak about sort of a national youth sailing program. Now, we know there is some form of that, but he really wants to amplify that, a national ambassador sort of program. Again, magnifying these areas that will further empower, equip, and expose youth. But let's just start right there with the sailing program and a lot of his contribution. What is the response of youth What do they think? We saw youth being very interested in paying close attention during the election campaign and the election season. And so what do they think about a ministry that is really speaking to them?
Well, Shanika, I'll say this. I think one of the policy gaps or policy strengthened areas that I've realized before the budget contribution was that we, as the Bahamas, have a national sport that is now said to be sailing, right? Yeah. How do we introduce that into our curriculum? How do family islanders get the experience to truly learn and develop on our national sport? And so in the actual words of what was said in the budget, junior sailing reaches 16 new schools across the Bahamas and the Family Islands.
And that junior sailing program, guys, and I noticed because I've covered a few regattas before, it is, number one, very popular, very impactful and important, especially in Family Island communities. And I imagine even certain schools here in New Providence.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, it's very intricate to have that now kind of imported into our education system, right? It's one thing to know about the sport. It's one thing to, you know, hear about it. Yeah, that's the Bahamas national thing. But now how do we infuse that into our curriculum, into the minds of Bahamian young people, and further develop on that culture here?
Tafari, you want to add anything before we move on?
Well, yes.
Because here's the question. We know that the program is impactful. To hear the minister talk about expanding it and importing it into the curriculum and making it sort of really recognized, where it teaches the skill. Boat building is a skill that so many Family Island communities are very proud of, especially the sailing community. So how are school age, teenagers, youth, how are they sort of reacting to this, and what are their thoughts?
Well, Shanika, like you said, we're expanding it. It was already there. Now it's all about the expansion of it. It's about putting it in the system, putting it at work. The whole title of the budget is building on progress. So it was already there. Now we're building on it, and now we're expanding it. And I think it's going to be really good. I think it's a great addition to the curriculum. It's a great addition to our schools and our classrooms. I think it's really good.
Yes. Now, of course, the minister mentioned a number of other areas, key areas, in fact, areas that you all before on this show have said are important, that your groups and the various groups you're part of and the conferences and conference calls and meetings that you all have that you want to see more of, so that you can stake sort of your place in the nation as we move forward. Among them, and I want to make sure I get this right, to grow the National Youth Ambassador Program. Let's talk about that program. How significant has it been already? And also, how excited are you all to hear about putting even more focus and effort on it so that it gets bigger and reaches more people?
Well, Shanique, it's really good to see that we are focusing on these sectors. I think the Prime Minister did a good job in breaking these down and making sure that they are specific in where they work and where they strengthen these areas, because the National Ambassadorship Program has already been doing major work. As a matter of fact, we were in the barbershop the other day and we spoke with a youth ambassador, and he would have told us how he did policy work in the program, how he did work with helping people. So I think that expansion of that program not only gives them the opportunity to get into the field, but help other people and give other people a chance to experience how they can help their government.
Well, Shanika, I'll also add to that. I think it's paramount to have the voice of young people in national and regional as well conversations, right? So I personally admire the National Youth Ambassadorship Program because it gives young people the voice, right? So it's not just we speaking about young people being involved, it's now actually creating a forum and a representation level where young people, Bahamian young people, can represent the Bahamas in various areas. That's development, that's communications development, that's representing us in global youth conversations and climate change and a whole multitude of different topics that we can expand on in the country.
How far has this program, obviously it's going to be built out even bigger now, but how far has this program already taken those who've entered and been successful in being an ambassador? What have they been exposed to? How have they been better equipped to show up even in bigger spaces?
Well, Shanique, I've seen youth ambassadors going to Dubai, going to conferences, and so the exposure is great. The exposure is great, but there needs to be tangible results. And so I think that this cohort, this next move is going to be tangible, more tangible results that not only young people can see, but the Bahamian people can see.
And then Shanique, also, I think in terms of self-development, it is an awesome program. You know, apart from representing your country and being a true Bahamian citizen, that is also serious personal development. I know some national former youth ambassadors who work now in major sectors in banking, major sectors in policy and communications, and it certainly given them skills they need to inquire about real world solutions.
Yeah.
I know you both have been paying very close attention in the last term of this administration, just into the entire governmental process. You're obviously on top of things now, starting out. The ideas you've seen and heard, whether it's the last term and certainly that are being rolled out still in this new budget and this new budget cycle, do you think those are ideas that can take the country further, move it forward, empower youth, be able to grow an economy that includes all, and sort of even highlights some key trending new industry and areas for youth or those looking to maybe change careers or whatever it may be in the Bahamas?
Shanique, I'll say this. I think if the Bahamas government actually acts on what they propose to the Bahamian people, yes, definitely. I think we can certainly go much further if we actually act on expanding various industries and economic sectors of young people and diversifying those kind of regions of governance. I think it will definitely go very far if we act on, you know, it's one thing to write it down and put it in legislation and put it in the budget communication. But now you want to see a government that will echo that and actually put pen to paper and get it done.
To piggyback off of what he said, that's the truth, because we can see the amount of people signing up, but we want to see them going through it. So, and Shanique,
so then the onus is on those who are signing, who are absolutely registering for these programs, because many of them, just as you all said, they register, and when you look for them, weeks later, months later, they just want to take the lazy way out. I mean, anything worth getting takes work.
Yeah, yeah.
And so certainly every demographic should know this and understand it and respect it, because if you work for it, you appreciate it even more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's even why I say to Bahamian young people, don't just fill out these applications to have something nice on your resume.
Yeah.
Actually devote yourself and commit to what's being expected. There are awesome opportunities involved in ambassadorship and also youth in parliament. Those applications are also open now for our young people to be a part of. I'd say fill out the applications and see where the opportunity takes you.
Yeah, because I literally had this conversation with someone the other day. It's so crazy that when we graduate high school, the first thing we think of doing is going abroad and giving to another man's land, when we have our own land here that we can empower our land, help our country. And so to see the government having programs like the National Youth Guard, upskill program, DigiLearn, it shows us that you can stay in your own land, profit to your own country, and make money from this. So we don't just want to see the sign up numbers high. We want to see the outcome. We want to see the tangible results of our young people gaining from it, gaining leadership skills, work skills, and many other skills.
Yeah, building a life, building a future, like you said. The opportunities are now here. You know, the last night I had people from Grand Bahama on who we obviously focused in on key areas, but that economy is, I mean, just about to take off and do incredibly well. The economy in the Bahamas is performing well and obviously will continue to grow and become more diversified. And the thing is to prepare whomever is interested and want the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that will become available, and even many that are there right now.
Right.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking at this Youth Commission, because now the Youth Commission is there.
What is that called?
The National Youth Commission?
National Youth Commission.
Youth Commission, yeah. So they aim to strengthen these programs like National Youth in Parliament, Youth Assembly, National Youth Ambassadors, the Youth Ambassadorship Program, and all of that. And then we look at the National Endowment, I think that is. We have where they put 2.5 million to help athletes with facilities and all of that. We see so many stuff that are happening. And so there is no excuse for our young people to say that there aren't opportunities. Before, we could say, man, there's no opportunities for young people. But Shanique, we see the outpouring of opportunities. Now, here it is. You can have the vision, you can have the dream, but we have to run with it. We have to fulfill it. So these programs are here. Now it's up to our government and our young people to work together to make sure that this becomes a success.
Definitely.
Sounds really good, guys. And I imagine we may be halfway through the budget debate in the House at this point. Anything else that stood out that was interesting and exciting to hear?
An next area of governance that stood out to me was the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs. I didn't watch the entirety of the conversation, but the key points that stood out to me was complete renovation on family islands, right? Which includes better upgrades, and something they spoke to specifically recently was upgrades with the new well and drainage system in Pinewood.
Yes.
And so I'm really looking forward to see how that'll come out. It sounds like good talk. It sounds like good proposal and plan. But the Bahamian people will not be, persuaded by just that alone. We want to see what will happen.
No, they want to see action behind all these words. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you this. I think I spoke with a resident in Pinewood who says it started. It's not just being talked about. The work has now started.
Right.
Shanique, the Bahamian people chose progress, and we want to see the government fulfill on what they said that they would offer. I've heard many promises throughout the campaign. I've watched and I've listened, and we want the government to fulfill these promises. We don't want to hear these empty promises. We don't want to see these empty books. We want to see the progress. Bahamian people chose it, so now it's your time to deliver it.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. I thank you, gentlemen, very much. Always good, obviously, hearing from you all and your voice, your issues, your thoughts and opinions about the stories, about the news, about where the country is headed, about legislation, about governance. It's good to hear you and have you both back here. Looking forward to catching up again very soon.
Thanks, Shanique.
Thank you,
Bahamas.
I thank, of course, everyone who appeared on tonight's show. Of course, the Hot Topics panel, Cassius Stewart, Ellington Ferguson, and now, of course, the youth panel. Thank you both for being here. And thank all of you for hanging out all week long. It's certainly been awesome having you here. And I look forward to seeing you right back here Monday evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a blessed weekend, everyone.
It's time for Quick Draw.